Right. All right, so this one is, you had a previous run up over here and it goes, so I imagine this was an attempt to break out or to get back to a high, a previous high on previous price action way over there somewhere. And so we made it there, right? So we finally got here and then it instantly drops down and goes this stuff here, right? And so it's basically reaccumulating to go. It's basically spent all of its energy. It's trying to say how I say this. Price action has hit exhaustion here, and so therefore there are not enough shares um, to keep the demand going, to keep this going up, right? And so it hits this area and then immediately dumps down like this, and then they're starting to soak it back up on a much bigger price action. And so this is them soaking it up. And so you can look at it, like on a much bigger scale here. It's just going to make a wedge and force price action into this area going up. And they're buying it up the whole time. Does that make sense? And so then your block here. So this is just a different form of that trade that we're talking about. So like kind of like you have like all your wicks, you know. Well, this would be like all your wicks. Hold on, let me see who just messaged me. Um, so you have a doji here, right? Or you have a red candle lollipop right there, doji here, right? And then you have this green candle here, which if you took that one and added it to that, then that's basically all dojis, you know? And then those there are all, it makes that all doji. These are all dojis, so none of this actually exists anymore. you know, except for this guy right here. This top part of this candle right here is the only thing that exists. And then once you turn everything else into dojis, once you delete all this, and so then you have this green push up. This doesn't exist anymore, and then lo and behold, you have another continuation of green candles going up. And then that comes down, but it does a wick here, so it doesn't negate this part, and then picks up right here and keeps going up. And so, um, but this block right here, if you see this happen and then it closes, you know, bullish engulfing like that, that's, or if you just see the block forming, you can just put your contract, one above the ticks, the wicks of those candles right there. And yeah, you feel like maybe 1 or 2 points or ticks here of pressure as it comes and finds its handle. Because all this is a V pattern expressed in a block. That's all it is. Can you see it? And so, and there's so there it is. You put it right there. This is going to be the handle that you find on the other side of a V pattern. It's just like this guy right here. And so it's actually finding the handle on the exact same level. Boom. Right there. There. And so going into it, you kind of have an idea, like it's more than likely, I got this block. This is basically a V pattern right here. Same thing as this guy. This is the handle for that V pattern to my left. So I'm most likely going to, because of this move, I'm just going to share that because I'm making a block of, price action here. So I'm probably just going to horizontally share that handle and then launch out. And so then I take the trade there. I might feel like 1 or 2 ticks of pressure there, and then boom, it's out. Comes back, finds support on top of the other of these wicks up here, and there's your confluence that's not coming down, and boom, it goes up. That'd have been a good trade. Any questions here? Okay. And then, so this one, price action, again, it's hit a high and it can't get past this area right here. And so it goes into the exact same thing I was just talking about, that reaccumulation pattern. And it's the same pattern. This is that one that we were talking about earlier. I'm just focused on this guy right here now. And so this one was good. Okay. So on this one, you had an area that you couldn't pass up here. Double poke, double tap, boom, dumps down, and then you have this little green candle right here. So it's trying to launch from here and it failed, trying to launch from here and it failed. So you know that it's searching right here because it's not multiple greens and they're not going up at an angle like this, right? Do you remember that conversation? Distribution is when the greens are following, like you have a dump coming down and then you have greens going like this. So if it's not doing that, then it's searching for a place to launch from. And so its intent is, and the reason I'm telling you this is because you're learning what the intent is of the price action. The intent is that it wants to go up. If it wanted to go down, it would do distribution right here, and it would, consolidate an angle like this. And so now it's looking for an area to go up from, and then you get down to this area after this like deeper red push right here. So you have like this 2 red candle push, like 5 red candle push right here with a doji. And so this was like, okay, well, this didn't work. Let me see if it's just 1 tick lower it will work. Doesn't work. Okay, well, boom. I don't have time for this. Let me get down here. You know what I mean? So it's like, let me just skip the BS and let's just come down here and try this. Okay. And then you get this result out of it. And then boom, you're instantly higher than, this part over here. And then they push it down again, shoves it up even higher. Great. Push it down again, shoves it up even higher. Great. And so then they bring it back down lower than these two here to see where it goes, and it fails to go right here. So then they coil it right here, and this is what that is. It's called coiling. It's like it's basically taking the price action and making it really small right here. And so then all the energy goes, to there. And so when you get to this one here, you've got this deep red push down. You have a T-bar. T-bars usually are bullish. It means the price action went down and instantly came back up and stopped flat. Of course, it didn't go above this area right here, which is questionable, right? But you just watch your following price action, and you'll see that you got 1 tick down red, wicks to the top, basically holding it back. Another green that it gaps down and goes back up and stops at the exact same high. So you have your flat area right here forming. And then this is the opposite of the other move over there. So I've got my 1 tick bar candles right here, right? Well, I need to manipulate to the low. This is showing me how low it can go, right? And so I need to manipulate in one direction in order to go the other, right? And so my bodies, my candles right here go 1 tick down that way because I know that I can get to here at least. And I use that as manipulation to the downside in order to go long. And so to break it down even more, you got dojis there, and then you've got a long wick here if you take these 2 candles and negate themselves with this part of the green body left over. And so you're pushing low here, pushing high here. There's your high of your wicks there. And that was the low of the wick right there before it. So manipulating low, manipulating high. You got this deeper push right here, which is the manipulation to your low again to retest this right here to see if there's any strength there, and boom, it shoots up and breaks out. And so you can put it right there at the high of those wicks, or one above that one there if you want to. Does that make sense? It's just like that one that was up there in another picture, just upside down. And then, and also like you can also look at it like this. I've got a deep push down like this. So it's very bearish, right, in this aspect. And then it gets to this right here and it goes flat. And so it's like a doji, right? So extremely bearish doji pushes down doesn't get as bearish as this, and then instantly starts expanding back the other way. And so that's that master. It's called a master pattern. A master pattern is when price action is basically funneling into an area, higher highs and lower lows funneling into lower highs and lower or higher lows, basically making a pennant. So the master pattern is like this: making a pennant, coming down into this area, and then expanding outwards in the opposite direction. So does that make sense? Like this, like a bow tie. And so that's what that whole thing is right there, is literally making a bow tie right here, price action, to expand and explode outwards. Oh, right.